Disability, veterans, military, Debo, back again. You got a VA disability questions, VA claims, all things veteran affairs. Let your boy know. Hey, I want to stop by, say hello, shoot. Hey, let your boy know. So, I was gonna go live once today, but a couple of y'all were antsy. So, y'all got any questions? By all means, I'll be talking like always, until I get a question. Um, I ain't gonna go into that. So let's find a topic. So VA claims for mental health. Definitely, whenever you put in claims for mental health, you gotta ensure that you have a diagnosis. Well, let's back it up. Been staying for the last couple of days. After talking with some VA raiders, they claim the CFR 38 has a clause, or has a gray area that, yeah, of course, you go into a C&P exam, they assess you for any disabilities that you do have, mental health, and they can assign or diagnose you with a mental health disability then and there, or you come with medical evidence. Hey, as you're coming in, by all means, let your boy know. You got any questions? I'll stop what I'm saying. But any C&P exams, most of the time, veterans are not diagnosed with anything. They give them this bullshit ass, just BS excuse. Oh, favorable findings. However, you don't have a diagnosis, you don't have treatment history, whatever the case may be. So I definitely recommend all vets go out, get assessed, get evaluated. I mean, you don't have to utilize VA doctors if you have a job or if you have some type of benefits, any percentage. You should be able to go out, find a sufficient psychiatrist in order to get your mental health claim going, start building some medical evidence, and then move on from there. Aside from that, you definitely are going to need a diagnosis. Hey, what's up? Hey, you got any questions? By all means, let your boy know. Let me ask some questions. Feel free to stop me at any time. But you definitely want to go in, get treated, look for a good psychiatrist that can diagnose you, assess you, PTSD, identify your stressor, any other mental health disability. You just need a diagnosis. I would definitely recommend that they capture your symptomology, anything you're experiencing, and hey, as well as any impacts to your personal and your work life. If you've been experiencing anything that's impacting you to your personal and your work life, you definitely want to capture that either in a personal statement, as well as in your medical evidence through conversations with your doctor. Definitely want to take care of that. And from there, you want to go on, gather that medical evidence, get everything that you need, put in a claim. Definitely want to work on your personal statement. If you're trying anything above a 30% for mental health, you definitely want to capture, if it's not already captured in your medical evidence, impacts to your personal life, impacts to your work life, as well as a snapshot of your symptoms that you're experiencing. How severe, mild, moderate, severe. And hopefully you have your medical evidence to back that up. And then from there, you put in your claim. Be patient. VA claims process is a little drawn out right now just due to all the PACT Act related claims. But the VA, they will get to you. They will call you in for an exam. Some veterans, they get called within 2 weeks, another 2 months, 3-4 months. Just depends on your area, what state you're in, what's the processing time for that specific VA regional facility. And then, go from there. Once you do get into a C&P exam, make sure, it could, you never know what type of C&P examiner you're going to get. So it's best that you put yourself in the best position. I recommend taking your whatever you submitted for that specific claim, take it in. Because that VA fucking, C&P examiner, compensation and pension examiner, they may not look at your profile prior to you coming in. I know I had 2 exams that went like that. I went in, the VA, the examiner, they did look at my stuff. They just assumed, you got X percentage for this disability, especially for my mental health. I went in for an increase from 30%, and the examiner was like, oh, 30% is the highest I've seen for insomnia. I was like, well, how about you? How about you look again? I borrowed my medical evidence, and he didn't look at nothing prior to me coming into the exam. So definitely y'all want to take your time, and any C&P exam, hold these examiners accountable in order for you to maximize your potential and maximize yourself into getting service connected for the disability that you do submit, direct or secondary VA claims, and from there, or for an increase, definitely you want to show causation. Talking too much, gotta take a sip. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Going there, yeah. So it's pretty much in the exam, they're gonna be going from the beginning. It'll definitely help you to familiarize yourself with the DBQ, or just take it in with you. And DBQ, for some of y'all don't know, it's a disability benefits questionnaire. It's pretty much what the VA looks for that C&P examiner to fill out and submit back to them alongside an IMO, independent medical opinion, or in some cases, some veterans, they call it the nexus letter. Definitely, whenever you go in, have the DBQ in hand, or at least understand what questions need to be asked when it comes to just regular mental health claims, not including PTSD. You want to make sure, if you're doing that in direct service, talk about when and how you've noticed symptoms in service. If you have medical evidence from your psychiatrist that they assessed your medical profile and your current treatment, and they attribute it to your mental health disability, whether it be depression, MST, multiple anxiety, insomnia, to your military. For secondary, obviously you gotta show causation from that primary, or that primary service connected VA disability. From there, they're going to talk about symptoms. If it's not clearly identified in any of your VA records, personal records, your SCR, if you got in-service treatment while you was in the military for any mental health disability, you definitely want to capture it in your personal statement. A lot of vets don't like to write. I get it. It's hard. It's time consuming. You don't know what to write. There's like, shit, filler words. But, you got time. Once you submit your intent to file, you got a whole year to submit that claim. You don't need to submit it immediately. That's a whole year. You can work on your personal statement, work on gathering medical evidence that can either maintain, like I always tell veterans, have medical evidence, whatever you put in a claim, for an increase or for, direct or secondary. Whenever you put in this claim, make sure the medical evidence can maintain you at the current percentage that you're at, and not, risk a decrease. Because I have a lot of buddies who put in for claims for increases or put in for their first claim, and instead of getting an increase or service connection, they got decreased because they're trying to, seek an increase for, migraines, add a secondary condition to PTSD, low back, sciatica. But they haven't been treated for their back, since they got service connected 2-3 years ago. So the VA, they're going to look at that. Okay, how are you planning on submitting for an increase for your back and adding secondary claims to it when you haven't been seen for your back in the last 2 years? What's going on, vet? So they'll be like, okay, we'll assess your profile, blah, 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 blah. Look at your medical evidence, see if it supports, let's go low back to sciatica. Your low back causing sciatica in both legs. Okay, you got current medical evidence showing that you're being treated. You've been diagnosed with radiculopathy. I ain't a doctor, but pretty much sciatica going down from your low back into your feet, both legs. Hey, and as they're coming in, by all means, if y'all got any VA disability questions, denied VA claims, anything at all, let your boy know. They're going to assess you for that. And if you meet the criteria for sciatica in both legs, the VA, they're going to render you a secondary percentage. And it's usually, 0 to 20% is the max per leg. So if you got 10% or 20% for your back, they add 2 10s, that'll be 40%. Or it'll be 60% if they add 2 20s. But as you're getting that secondary condition added, if you have no back information to maintain your back at 20 or 10 or wherever you have 40%, and that disability is not static, the VA will decrease you. That's an opportunity for them to decrease you. And some vets, they come back like, oh, what the hell, blah blah blah. It's like, well, if your condition is not considered static, and you haven't gone past the 10-year mark for having that disability service connected, it can risk a decrease. So definitely you want to make sure whenever you're putting in these claims, definitely for mental health, you got it's strategy. It's like chess. You don't want to fucking submit a claim half-ass, and then it comes back either denied before you even get to a C&P exam, or you get to the C&P exam, the VA looks at your medical evidence, and it's not, it's not sufficient. It's not clear. It's just like a bunch of nonsense thrown around. And the VA looks at this, if it's a young VA rater, they're going to just deny that claim. It was like, it's too much going on with this claim. I ain't going to deal with it. If it's a senior VSR, VSA, what the fuck? VSR or RVSR, they're going to, okay, blah, blah, blah. They got a little bit more experience. But the chances of you getting a seasoned VA rater is, trying to throw a hula hoop on a telephone pole. So definitely want to, make sure you're going in, you're submitting that claim with hard hitters. Like I said in a couple of videos, you want to have that Iron Man shield. You want that vibranium whenever you submit that claim. So whenever that examiner or that rater tries to come back, as you're trying to pick apart your claim, you got that vibranium shield up. Like, nope, there's a diagnosis. Nope, here's some evidence. Nope, all my signs and symptoms are right here. Nope, got my personal statement. You want to prepare your claim for a possible denial. So if your claim was ever denied, you had everything needed. Maybe that C&P examiner, maybe that was having a bad day and they gave you a bad exam and they said, no, denied, no service connection. Submit a higher level review if you submitted all the information. Diagnosis, treatment history, personal statement, buddy statements, especially for anything mental health. Unless you're in with your psychiatrist on a bi-weekly basis and they're writing down all your information, whenever you do go in, the likelihood of all of your symptoms and impacts to your personal, your work life is going to be slim to none. So definitely, if they're not, ask them, hey, write this down. I mean, that'll be one less thing you have to worry about when developing your personal statement. You can always refer to it in your personal statement if it's like heavily documented in any medical evidence that you supply to the VA for your mental health. It was like, hey, all of my symptoms is on page, 10, page 11, page 5, pertaining to blah, blah, blah. And if you got an idea, like, okay, definitely want to capture all of that in your personal statement, or just refer to, hey, refer to all my symptoms, record it on X pages. And yeah, I mean, just go from there. And that, that's pretty much mental health claims in a nutshell. Definitely whenever you go to the C&P exams, make sure you take your time. Don't let that C&P examiner, that compensation and pension examiner with the VA, don't let them rush you through the examination. A lot of veterans, they go in, they're so happy they got the claim, they got the exam, they forget about the timeliness, the accuracy of the actual meeting. There's a DBQ associated, and just reading it and going through it should at least take like 30 minutes. Them asking a question, you providing an answer, and then if there's any issues or things that you need to clear it up either then and there or at the end. Hey, ask the examiner, just ask them outright, do you plan on service connecting me for this disability on a direct, secondary? Do you plan on submitting me for an increase? If they say yay or nay, okay. If they say yay, hey, there you go. You don't have to stress for the next 1 to 4 or 5 months while you're waiting on your VA claim to be adjudicated. I wonder if I'm going to get an increase or not, or I wonder if I'm going to get service connected. But if you ask that C&P examiner at the end, do they plan on service connecting you, for either that direct disability, secondary disability, or an increase for any VA disability ratings, it's going to give you a lot better warm and fuzzy at night. And if they say, no, I don't believe so, or if they, hey, I need to go through my boss, I mean, they should be going to their boss to, recommend you for service connection or for an increase. I mean, it should be one-on-one. The VA is going to be looking at their recommendations, not their boss. You know, I don't know if they're doing quotas. Like, why you got to talk to someone else? Is it you quota-based or what? So, you know, definitely want to take charge of your claim. Make sure that that compensation and pension examiner doesn't rush you, as well as, you know, take it one question at a time, provide all your information. If you can't remember, or if you need notes, make notes. Refer to your personal statement. You know, print that out, bring it in with you. You know, you want to maximize your chances of getting service connection or increased. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it with the VA, with the mental health claims. Any questions? Any questions at all? While I take a sip of water. Hope you have a good day. Good day. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Any questions at all? Hit him with the me. But yeah, definitely right now, no questions yet. But I'm helping one of my buddies. It'll be his first claim. He hasn't claimed anything since being out. I think like what, 1-2 years now. So he's going through. He just got with a primary care provider, private, not through the VA. He went to the VA the first time for last year and a half, but they haven't been giving him the best support. So, you know, he called me up, blah, 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 and I was like, hey, I mean, if they're not giving you support, complain, see if anything comes about that. If not, I mean, just go a private medical route. You know, private physicians, private psychologists, you know, anything outside of the VA, they're more open-minded. They're more willing to, you know, definitely give you a diagnosis. Any medication, treatment, x-rays, MRIs, without hassle. You know, because they have no, they have no bias commitment to the VA. You go to these VA medical staff members, they always say, oh, you know, conflict of interest. Now, how's it a conflict of interest if you work for the VA? I'm a veteran. I'm trying to obtain medical evidence in order to put in a VA claim, but you're telling me you're not going to give me a diagnosis for PTSD, yet you've been giving me medication, you know, all this medication for the last 2 to 3 years. The same with migraines. You know, I've been having intense migraines. I've gotten Botox. I've gotten, you know, 2-3 changes of medication, and you can't give me a diagnosis. You can just feed me all this medication. No, for what? I mean, just take out the stress, take out the middleman. No, not middleman, but you know, if your VA provider is not willing to work with you, they're being rude, they're not working with you, try to complain, talk to their supervisor or head doctor, head nurse. I'm not sure how that word works. You know, if something comes about it from that conversation, hey, by all means, stick with that doctor. Or, you know, if they change you to a new one, yeah. But if not, I mean, if you have a percentage or if you're working, you should have the ability to go out, seek treatment somewhere else. I mean, it's not that, I mean, it ain't that expensive unless you're like going through like, you know, extensive surgery and stuff. But, you know, one of the things that is expensive, if you don't have insurance, is X-rays and MRIs. So for any active duty military, or if you're going through the VA, you know, definitely always go back to the VA, or, you know, through your active duty time, request that MRI and that X-ray for anything musculoskeletal. If you plan on fucking, you know, submit a claim. What's up, Everett? Back again. Looking at rhinitis and sinusitis, which one is better to do sleep apnea as a secondary? I would say rhinitis. I mean, you can do both, but rhinitis is a little. I mean, they both serve their function. You could definitely secondary. I would say to rhinitis because sleep apnea it's caused by a couple of things. Definitely blockages in your nasal cavity, smoking, toxic exposures, anything wrong with your respiratory system, you know, swelling in your throat and your, you know, esophageal. I'm not a fucking doctor. I can't say that motherfucking word, dog. But you know what I'm talking about. But anything respiratory, sinusitis and rhinitis are both considered respiratory issues. If you're service connected for both of those, definitely you want to get in with your doctor, get evaluated, and see which one is actually causing it, and see if you can go from there. Build that causation. Like, hey, I mean, whenever I have episodes, or whenever I have episodes, after the episodes of either rhinitis or sinusitis, I'm experiencing issues with fucking sleep apnea. Or if you're experiencing while you're going through any one of those two episodes, then definitely both have a C&P, and I have a CPAP since 2017. Hey, go me. Definitely. If you've been both, and have you been diagnosed for all three since 2017? And are you going through a VA doctor, or are you going through your personal doctor? Private medical. My bad. But definitely want to make sure that you're complaining about it on a not daily basis, but on a frequent basis. Establish that causation. Sleep apnea since 2017. All right. God bless your troops. Oh, appreciate you, Gary. Yes, sir. Oh, God bless our troops. Appreciate your support. Thank you. If y'all can, please like the video. Okay, just rated for both rhinitis and sinusitis. Okay, that's good. That's good. Everett. What percentage for both? If you don't mind me asking. Probably 10 for rhinitis, 50 for sinusitis. That's not bad. So definitely you want to look at your medical evidence and make sure. If you have 30 for both, it looks like the VA or your medical evidence can show a differentiation. And you got a diagnosis for both. You probably supplied them with CAT scans, nasal endoscopy, whatever, the whole 9 yards. So they were able to, this is sinusitis, this is rhinitis. It's not mixed. So from this point, it would just depend on getting with your doctor. Probably your ear. I don't know if you're a physician, ear, nose, and throat doctor, or the sleep. Whoever's you may have to get in with a new sleep doctor. I'm not sure if you're still seeing the same one that diagnosed you back in 2017. But we were diagnosed in 2017. Were you still in the military, or was it post-military? How soon? Well, how? And if it was post-military, how late post-military? Was it past the year presumptive period? All right, post-military, yeah. Oh. Okay, yeah, definitely. Well, I don't know. 10 years post. Jeez, 10 years post. This man. There you go. If you have any instance complaints, it's a long shot. You could definitely shoot for direct, but it's better to build a bridge from a secondary. And definitely with sinusitis or rhinitis, or you can utilize both. Both of them are causing sleep apnea. If they're both causing sleep apnea, you definitely want to work with that ear, nose, and throat doctor, that sleep doctor if you're still with them, or a sleep doctor that can assess and be like, okay, is it the sinusitis or is it the rhinitis that's causing sleep apnea? It could be a mix between possibly the medication as well as your symptoms whenever you're having flare-ups for rhinitis or sinusitis. If that makes sense. Head on with the me. Gotcha. Motherfucking salute. There you go. But yeah, it's just, I'm just asking questions, get your mind fucking wondering and shit like that. But that's what I'll be doing as well. If I have a service connection for sinusitis, rhinitis, asthma, whatever the case may be, I'm going to be looking at how frequent am I experiencing issues with CPAP. Well, CPAP, what the fuck? What's sleep apnea? Is it during, or is it off, like outside of any episodes. It definitely needs to be outside of episodes in order to get it service connected. If not, if they can't differentiate sleep apnea as well from either rhinitis or sinusitis, then they'll mix it, if that makes sense. So if you secondary it to rhinitis and it clearly shows outside of any issues of sleep of any attacks of rhinitis or sinusitis, that you're experiencing sleep apnea. But if you're not, then they're going, okay, well, we can't differentiate from the two. We're going to mix them. And then, it may hurt you in the long run. So, I mean, I would definitely pick one. Work with your doctor, one of those three. See which one is causing it and make sure that it's causing it outside of an attack. Because if it's not causing it outside, if it's causing it outside of an attack, that's when it can be secondary. If it's causing it within an attack and as well as outside of attack, as soon as they be like, okay, it's within the attack, then it can't be differentiated from rhinitis. And I mean, a 50% or a 60% mixed rhinitis sleep apnea is better because I think unless you have the rare form of rhinitis, the max you can get from rhinitis is 30%. If that makes sense. Motherfucking Everett. What about GERD to depression medication? Yes, definitely possible. Hopefully you've been complaining to your doctor. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely possible. You just need to be do complaints. I would say, if possible, do an endoscopy. It's pretty much the camera going down your throat. Motherfucking throat goblin. Throat goblin's up. And that's like indisputable medical evidence, at least for the VA. Like, they're like, okay, wait, why do you think you got GERD? Oh, fucking, yeah. Know what I mean? I'm talking about, Everett? Come on. But yeah, definitely. It's definitely doable. And that's to almost any disability that you're taking medication for. But definitely when you do if you do decide to take the GERD route, secondary to depression, whenever you put in that claim, make sure your medical evidence for depression maintains you at the percentage that you're currently at, or possibly support an increase. And whenever you do decide you want to put in that claim for GERD, definitely document it. If you had 30% or 50% for depression and you want to get an increase, you could submit them both at the same time. An increase and a secondary are both considered the same thing on a claim. So you can definitely do it, if that makes sense. Oh, I'm looking Everett. Yeah, my reflux is crazy. Sheesh. But if it's crazy, yeah, I mean, definitely. You want to get in. Well, complain to your doctor, and they'll and ask for an endoscopy. Not related to depression as of yet. Still working on it. All right, there you go, Everett. There you go. There you go. Any other questions before I hop out of here? We'll do. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Robinson. Anything else? Anything else? Any other VA disability questions? Please don't hit my car. Please don't hit my car. Please don't hit my car. Okay. But yeah. Anything else? Anything else? All VA disability questions. Currently, any question at all is not a crazy question. Believe me. I believe I've asked all the crazy questions to my VSO while I was in the VA claims process. Definitely the more you know about the VA claims process, the better. It'll alleviate some stress. It's not going to take it all away, but it's definitely going to leave you with a little bit more, okay, I know I submitted all this good information. Go to your C&P exam. You killed the C&P exam. Now you're just waiting. I would say always, unless your medical evidence is like, motherfucker, it's been stamped and blessed. If you're going for an increase, don't expect a huge jump unless it's like severe. If you're going for like an increase for mental health, you got 30%. If everything you submit warrants an increase, expect 50. Expect 50. Don't expect 100%. You know what I mean? 70%, even better. That's like for me. Like I put in an increase for my mental health. I was at 30. I was 100% expecting 50. But the VA rater was like 70%. I was like, hey, yeah, motherfucker. Dab on him. Now I'm talking about. Same for my back. I lowballed my back as well. I thought that the VA were going to give me a 10% with sciatica all rolled into one. I've seen a lot of vets get that. They don't get the differentiation. But, VA rater was like, I got you. And I think it's all mainly due to the way I structured my personal statement. When I put in my supplemental, and it was a denial for my back. When I put that in, bold letters on the top of that personal statement was lumbosacral strain with sciatica in both legs. Medical documents attached to this document, diagnosis, treatment, whatever, x-rays, MRIs, whatever. Symptoms, there you go. And then I talked about the since it was a denial on a direct claim, I made my personal statement better from the first time I made it, because the first time I made it, it was just like, give me benefits. And then they were like, motherfucker, you stupid. Denied. Incompetent personal statement. Because personal statements, the power of a personal statement can carry weight in the absence of complaints while you were serving. Many veterans, many of us, even myself, we don't go to medical as often as we do. We don't get the treatment. And, when we get out, we know our command, blocked us. Motherfucking Gallo blocked us. But we don't say anything. I put that in my personal statement. Hey, United States Marine Corps, overall motivate, kill. I'm trying to get these benefits, baby. And it was highly, highly frowned upon for a leader, corporals and up, to be going to medical. It's like, why are you in medical? What's wrong with you? Take ibuprofen. Keep stepping, Change your drawers, change your socks, drink water. That's the Navy Marine Corps motto. Drink water, change your socks. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you talking about? Go lead. And I'm sure it's the same in the Army. Any Air Force cats, I know y'all got pampered. I know. I got a lot of Air Force buddies. Anyways, that's a different story for another motherfucking day. But definitely, you want to make sure all that evidence, everything is good. Everything is organized. Don't listen to your friends. I don't need this, I don't need that. No, definitely. Foundations of a good claim: diagnosis, treatment history, personal statement, buddy statements for any claims that can yield 30% or higher, as well as any claims that take in consideration personal and occupational impacts due to your disability. But if I ain't got no more other questions, as always, motherfucking Debo out. Hope y'all take care. Any questions? Questions at all? Going once, twice, 3 times a lady. Hey, Everett, you take care. Motherfucking Gary. Both y'all take care. Enjoy y'all Wednesday. 2 days closer to Friday. But this motherfucking Debo out. Y'all stay Gucci with it.